Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RealClearPolitics Takeaway for Tuesday, December 1st. I'm Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of RealClearPolitics.
I'm Carl Cannon, Washington Bureau Chief for RCP. Morning, Tom.
Carl, I hardly recognize you. We're like the opposite. I've got no hair on my face or my head, and you've got hair coming out everywhere. Can you man bun or ponytail that thing? What's happening there?
When I show up with my regular, decent, middle-aged man's haircut, people will know I have gotten the vaccine. Because my own theory about it, Tom, is that if I can't go to a racetrack or a bar or a restaurant, I sure as hell don't need to go to a barbershop.
So you're like the anti-Nancy Pelosi. Is that what you're saying?
I'm from San Francisco is my hometown, so I don't want to disparage her, but she and I have different priorities when it comes to the beauty parlor. Yes.
Well, let's talk about the virus because we just spent Thanksgiving. There seemed to be a lot of traveling. Dr. Fauci was on Sunday saying, look, we may have a surge upon surge. He expects travel restrictions. Gavin Newsom's locking down California again. We're heading into the Christmas holidays. And yet, Carl, it seems like the vaccine is on the way. Mike Pence told governors yesterday it could happen in as soon as 2 weeks. Distribution could start around the country. So the virus seems to be sort of resurging. But at the same time, Carl, we seem to be on the cusp of perhaps turning the corner and getting to a place where maybe life can go back to normal.
Well, it's difficult, Tom. You've got these three companies now. I mean, I saw in the news today as many as 6 companies have developed virus vaccines they think are successful. The two that seem ready to go are Moderna and Pfizer, and they're trying to get FDA approval this week. So yeah, if you could start getting vaccinations of healthcare workers and frontline people this week, that might help knock it down. But we're racing in 2 different directions at one time. It reminds you of a war where the leaders of the opposing sides are discussing peace and soldiers are still dying in the field. It's poignant and it's sad. And my views on this, Tom. I'm encouraging everybody to do what Deborah Birx and Tony Fauci say until we get a vaccine. And then, look, when I get my vaccine, I'm gonna go to the Dubliner and meet John McIntyre, your co-founder, and drink Guinness and do all everybody wants to do what they want to do. They want to be with their families at Christmas and Hanukkah. They want to go socialize. Human beings are social animals. This is not our natural habitat.
The first thing you do after you get the vaccine, you're going to go to the Dubliner and drink Guinness.
Well, I should have said I'm going to church first, but I guess I blurted out the truth.
The mask slips. But Carl, what about the politics of the vaccine? There was a poll that showed, I think it's up to about 58% of people say they will take the vaccine. But you've had, Democrats. Joy Reid was on MSNBC. We have a clip on our site saying, Black people are distrustful of the vaccine because it was developed under Trump and the history of being used as experiments and whatnot. I mean, really sort of conspiratorial stuff. This was part of the campaign. There seemed to be some lingering political effects with, Governor Cuomo in New York. What about the politics of the country getting vaccinated? Do you think people are going to actually go out and get this vaccine if it's made widely available as soon as possible? Or will there be, what percentage of folks are actually going to say, no, I'm not going to take this vaccine?
Well, there's 2 separate issues here, Tom. One is this vaccine is developed and invented, developed and manufactured in record time. If it were, human beings and naturally would be skeptical. Is this thing work? And what are the side effects? And there haven't been, you'd like to have seen clinical trials go on for 2 or 3 years. We don't have that luxury. And I think there's some risk there. It's not only a new virus, it's a new approach to vaccination. So, it's not assured that there won't be some side effects could it be dangerous? On the other hand, these people raising political objections for partisan reasons, Andrew Cuomo in particular, that's irresponsible. And if Trump did anything like that, they'd go crazy. And I don't think Democrat, look, they won the White House, and Joe Biden has not said anything irresponsible. You'd like to see these commentators and governors, show a little more class, really, and a little more responsibility. On the other hand, I want to say this, Tom, because I think Donald Trump's, I think as president set the tone here for partisanship. You know, there was no reason that White House coronavirus task force, there's no reason Ron Klain couldn't have been on it since March. I mean, this idea that this became politicized, at least half of that is the president's fault, and not the president-elect, the president's fault. And he should have anticipated some of this, and he should have brought the Democrats in so that the American people would have confidence that there's no politics involved in the science.
Yeah. All right, Carl, we will leave it there for this edition of the RCP Takeaway. And I do want to point out that both of our respective teams, NFL teams, are leading their division. That's the first thing I would like to do if I get the vaccine, is go see my Seahawks play. And they will be playing your Washington Redskins quite soon.
I don't think you can use the R word anymore.
I'm sorry, the Washington football team. You're right. I'm going to get canceled. All right. That's it for me. I'm Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of RealClearPolitics.
And I'm Carl Cannon, Washington bureau chief for RealClearPolitics. And this has been the RCP Takeaway for Tuesday, December 1st, 2020.